Yo, what's up internet, and merry day after Christmas. I went home for the week, so I haven't been able to upload. Truthfully, if the Raiders had been winning, maybe I would have uploaded throughout the week and scheduled it. Anyway, let's go to the notes and observations. The biggest and most important takeaway for this season regards the Eagles. Sorry, Eagles fans, but this team looks pretty bad without Carson Wentz. If there's any fan base that can sympathize, it's the Raiders because of last year. Nick Foles failed to connect with receivers and push the ball down the field. With the way they played against the Giants and Raiders, the Eagles season might be over before the playoffs. For the Raiders, this game was just like their season. So much hope, yet they find a way to lose. Had they just hung on to the ball or thrown it away, I think the Raiders would have ran away with this game. Truthfully, both teams tried to find a way to lose. The difference was, the Raiders kicker missed, while the Eagles kicker made it. It's a lost season, so maybe losing would be better in the long run. As was the case all season long, there is just a lack of aggressiveness from Derek Carr. He had one big play to Amari Cooper for a touchdown, and another big bomb to Cooper that was called back by a holding penalty. That was about all the deep shots he took. The biggest mistake was on the last possession, and Carr continued to check it down. At that point, you have nothing to lose, and an interception doesn't cost you anything. But he played it safe again, for no reason. I think I had the entire Raiders playbook figured out. Single eye with zone blocking for some reason to Marshawn Lynch, and spread formation with 5-yard routes. But there's nothing in between. It doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 10. The routes will only go for 5 yards. This ties into the last point, but you can't throw it deep if nobody is running a deep route. Todd Downing has simplified this offense to a screeching halt. He had a year's worth of film of things that worked and changed everything. I'll go into more detail in another video, but he will be fired. This one is more for me personally, but thankfully, Crabtree didn't have a catch. I was playing against him in fantasy, and if he did anything, I would have lost. But good old Todd Downing made sure that didn't happen. More importantly, how does the game go by where Crabtree doesn't have a catch and really wasn't a part of the game plan? Somehow, Seth Roberts has more catches and targets. I'm going to throw something out there. How about we switch Crabtree or Cooper with Roberts? Line one of them in the slot. This is so simple, but it has never happened. As for the defense, it would be really different if Carson Wentz was there, but they played fantastic. Matter of fact, they didn't give up many yards at all. They created turnovers and made sure no receivers got going. The running game was shut down, and outside of a touchdown by Jay Ajayi, the Eagles were saved by turnovers. I don't know why John Pagano wasn't defensive coordinator sooner, rather than whatever Ken Norton Jr. was doing. Thanks to Pagano's defense, the Raiders' pass rush has come alive. Mack and Irvin have been on a tear recently, and Autry has even gotten involved in the action. Hell, even Jihad Ward did something against a solid Eagles line. There were all these twists and disguises that we've been calling for all season. Mack will always be a wrecking crew, but it's nice that he doesn't have to beat triple team every single time. He finally gets schemed to get some help, and the pressure has been awesome. In more good news, the Raiders might have found their left tackle of the future in David Sharp. He replaced Donald Penn and was solid. This is facing a defensive line that features Brandon Graham, Chris Long, and Fletcher Cox. Sure, he had help from Lee Smith and Kalichi Osemele, but credit where credit is due. Donald Penn is 35 and coming off surgery. These last few games are the perfect time to give him experience. Next week, he'll face Joey Bosa and Brandon Ingram of the Chargers, so let's see how he faces against top competition. So far, so good though. Giorgio Tavecchio needs to start working on his kicks again and might need to start looking for a new job. He started out the season hot and clutch against the Titans. Recently, he's been pretty bad. Last week, he missed the kick against the Cowboys that would have tied it, and this week, he missed one that would have given them the lead. These are relative cheap shots, and he hasn't been good. Maybe it's just the entire team, but he needs to step up. The Raiders played with excellent effort. Games when the team is out of the playoffs really show on the head coach. The Raiders certainly lack execution, but effort isn't the problem. I've seen teams pack it in, and this isn't one of them. Jack Del Rio still has his team playing hard, and it shows that the players care. Next week is against the Chargers, so let's put up a fight and knock the Chargers out of the playoffs, ending the season on a high note.